a truck. I guess life was a little too good with the Audi. I heard a lot of things about these things being unreliable, and it's been great so far. But today, a little casual drive to go check out my peeps at Bimmers R Us, and leaving, I get to hear a horrible, horrible noise. It sounds like, and I'm gonna start it for a second because I think something's really catastrophically broken. But here, let me start it so everybody can hear. So this is gonna be real quick. Maybe I shouldn't do this because it could be really catastrophic, but here we go. Sounds like a truck. And tow truck, because obviously we can't drive this thing. So it's broke, and I'm hoping that the damage isn't too terrible or catastrophic. Perhaps it's the timing belt tensioner that went, because it was working fine, drove just fine with anything that gave me any sort of forewarnings. Literally came out, started the car, and I heard that horrible noise. And thankfully, I actually have a Carly in the car because of previous issues with this car, where I was able to run the codes that got P1519. Suggested some sort of a timing problem. So I got to get this home and somehow in a garage, and I guess get to putting this thing in service mode so I can troubleshoot what's going on. So yay for Audi life, I guess. And here we are, almost a year later, doing it again. Not really looking forward to the service mode operation to be working this car, but it is what it is. So quick note. So after getting the car towed home to the front of my house, I went inside to get my laptop and my cable, because I do have VCDS Lite, which is kind of the light version of the VagCom tool, which I've seen many people use. And running that tool, I was able to get a little more insight, which kind of led me to more, hey, something's wrong with these timing chain tensioners. And the codes I got were the 1519, like I originally got with Carly. And the other two that I got, and maybe things had gotten worse since the initial time I ran Carly, was P1347 and P0346. So again, all those led to something weird with cam timing, and so that's where we are right now. And obviously it won't spoil the rest of the video, so we'll find out what really happened. Also, because the car's in the front of the house, as you'll see in the next video, there was a little bit of help needed to get it from the front of my house to my garage. See, I live in the city of St. Louis, and it's a suburban style house. However, it still has a little city features, so that means the garage is in the back behind the house. And while I have a driveway and a garage and all that, you know, obviously it's going to take some help. So between my wife, one of my kids, one of my good friends, another good friend, we got the car pushed, and you'll see why it took so many people also in a second. So here's where we're at. We have friends pushing.
Where's she at? There she is.
And we are now going downhill. And we made it into the alley. That was a challenge and fun. When a mountain seems like a molehill, that little half-inch is a lot. And we got here, so let's go. So
Let's push in the garbage.
So part of the issue was I probably should have cleared the truck out. There's a battery. Battery. There is many quarts of oil. So many. All right, so we'll get some lighting here and get to work. Okay, so to first figure out what's really going on, it's been suggested by many in the Audi forums and my personal Audi friends to pull the valve covers. As you can see here, this is big gigantic Y pipe on top of everything. So first step will be to remove all the ancillary bits. I've already removed all the decorative covers, as you can see over there. Excuse my messy garage. Got to remove this air box as well too. Looks like I might have to move this coolant tank as well, and so got a little bit of work just to do a little disassembly. Yeah, here goes. All right, air box is off. Got an air filter that looks like it's a little dirty. I don't even know if this is what that factory one looks like. It looks pretty high end to me. Clearly, I did not see it clearly when I was doing my other work earlier this year. So now I'm left to get the Y pipe off, and these connect. This clamp here is. Looks like something that it will be destroyed if I try to remove it the way I do. So I might have to go phone a friend to see if there's a way to take these off without destroying them. Alright, so looks like it's the handy dandy 10 to remove the bolts holding the Y pipe. So let's remove these and wriggle these out a little bit. Also, after talking to my phone a friend, these clamps are one-time use ones, so not a big deal. Let's get some replacements when I'm done doing this work. So we'll just wrestle this thing out of here. And the last one here. So I'm not a professional. Yeah, there's no reason for me to do this one-handed, but you guys get the point. All right, we got the Y pipe up and out of the way. Now I'm trying to figure out, let me move this cloth here. What else do I need to disconnect outside the obvious to actually get to the valve cover? All the videos I watched weren't all that. A lot of these people had the engines way disassembled when they started the video. I'd love to know all the beginner stuff because I really am flying blind here. So maybe it's time to do a little research and get back to it. All right, so we had to move the coolant coolant tank to get out of the way. Remove 2 more pipes. I guess these are a part of the turbo airflow system. And now finally removing the coil packs. And so far, they seem to be okay. They're not coated in oil or anything I'm putting out there. I mean, there's a little bit of, seems like oil in there, but not like drowning oil. So the gasket had been holding up so far. Not that I was concerned about that, but good sign to see. So now that we got most everything out of the way, we should be able to start pulling the screws that are holding this valve cover in place. And soon we'll see something. All right, so we got the valve cover off. And I'm gonna make mention that getting off of this back corner here was horrific. I mean, it's hard enough to get back there because this heat shield is over here on this driver's side or right side of the engine. So those of you who are doing a valve cover a gasket replacement, or even messing with anything underneath here, just be forewarned that it'll be a struggle up there, and be careful moving the valve cover off because it doesn't come off cleanly, because again, there's not a lot of space. So anyway, with that said, you know, my original intentions were to go in here and expect to see catastrophe here by this timing chain and the cam tensioner and stuff like that, and everything looks good. I mean, for real, these cams look clean. Everything looks really good underneath here. In fact, kind of wishing I didn't take this apart, because as I've discovered, it is this timing belt. In here in a second, I'll get a video showing what I'm talking about. One more thing before I show the timing belt. I probably will have to still take off the left side, because if I am correct and this timing belt is the issue and it might have jumped or whatever, I'll have to take off the passenger side, because in order to set time, there's these arrows here listed here. So you got to do a couple things, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it yet, because I have to somehow get it to top dead center without valves touching pistons. And again, I'm not even sure if that's occurred or not. I don't think it did. I don't see anything that looks amiss from this point of view, but in case it did, you have to be able to see these arrows here in order to make sure these are, you know, in the right place and get everything lined back up. So got a little bit of work in front of us. And it's the timing belt. Ugh. So, as we can see, the timing belt moves a whole lot. In fact, at first I thought it was just a tensioner, but it seems really weird, because when I put this thing together earlier this year, I did a timing belt change using the Gates Racing kit from I think ECS Tuning, possibly, and you know, got the whole thing, water pump, tensioner pulley, and all the different components that go inside the timing part of the Audi. And my recollection was, even with the tensioner piston or little shaft thing compressed down, it's still, the belt seemed fairly tense even without the tensioner engaging. So now I'm wondering, did the belt stretch or what happened? Clearly I haven't gone to that point yet, and there'll be another episode as I get this thing disassembled and we figure out what actually happened. So place your bets in the comments as to what occurred here, what carnage you think occurred. I'm feeling pretty positive, because as you can see earlier in the video where I had the car idling in this damaged state, it was a steady RPM. It wasn't jumping. The car was vibrating, but from what I'm understanding, it could have been from the belt flopping in there and different things happening. So I'm really hopeful that there isn't any head damage. In case there is, I found some on eBay, but I'm hesitant to spend the money for them right now, just because I'm not, clearly new YouTuber, new to this. I'm not making a whole lot of money here, so my margin of error isn't that great. And I was hoping my other project, 640i, that flip project, would have been something to kind of generate some cash, but clearly I'm not done with that. And I wasn't expecting this to fail, so hopeful that I get some sort of good luck here, and it's a simple timing belt change some of the components on the exterior part of the engine and the front, and we'd be on our way, and I can make a decision on what to do going forward with the car. I don't want to blame Audi, Audi reliability on the B5 platform for this, because this is clearly something that has failed that I touched, and I don't know if it was a improper part or what happened there. I mean, the car, I've driven it for about almost 4,000 miles since I've done the work. Gone to Kansas City and back in, so I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm rambling now. I guess at this point I'll say, hey, if you like this video, like. If you enjoy this content, subscribe, tell your friends, share it. I have a whole lot of things I want to do with this, and I guess maybe a car failing is the best thing that could have happened, because it provided some content. So hope you all have a great day, great week, great evening whenever you see this, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.